Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen James. Channel that brings you all your latest Rangers news. That's right, guys. We're here obviously bringing you an update. Right, so the update is this. Apparently, this is from the minutes of the Fan Advisory Board meeting with Rangers CEO Patrick Stewart and other club board members. Now, obviously, there's a lot of talk around is the continual backing of Clement down to the fact that Rangers cannot afford to sack him, that the reported 1.2 million would take too much money out of the club and the club would be unable to meet that 1.2 million, so could not pay him off. That is the rumour, the story that has been going around, and certainly has been spread massively by the other side of the city, who love the fact that they obviously are key accountants. However, Rangers CEO Patrick Stewart has reiterated that the club's decision to retain Philippe Clement is not financially driven. I repeat, the decision to retain Clement even as manager is not financially driven. At the latest Fan Advisory Board, which took place on the 5th of February, this was prior to the Queen's Park Cup defeat, so it was before we went out of the Cup. It was put to the CEO that statements attached to previous sackings that results hadn't met expectations, with the belief amongst supporters that the current run of results had not met expectations and were worse than when he made the statement in January. Clement is still obviously 13 points behind Celtic with 13 games to go and very little chance of catching Celtic. Stewart said that it was not down to finances and that they were retaining Stewart because, in his words, there was far too much else to do on the footballing department to be changing the manager. That was his statement, and that Clement will remain as Rangers manager, which certainly seems to back what he was allegedly saying in that statement that was released after the game on Sunday via fans who attended the hospitality suites, where they said that Stewart said that Clement would be judged at the end of next season, which, in my personal opinion, would be a disaster for this club. But like I said, it was down to, and this is the quote here, Stewart said, like he did in January, that the decision to retain Clement as manager was not financially driven. Rather, it was the recognition there was so much else to fix in the football department. Well, forgive me, Mr. Stewart, but if your manager is not right, if the manager is not any good at his job, it does not matter how much else you fix in the football department, how much else you try to put right in the football department, it will not come right because the person at the top of that football department is not doing his job properly. For me, it shows that Patrick Stewart is clearly out of touch and does not know what he is talking about. Patrick Stewart is quite clearly here, just saying that he's backing the manager, that the manager is staying in position no matter how bad the results get. Realistically, we could lose all 13 games between now and the end of the season and go out of the Europa League in the first knockout phase, but it appears that Clement would not be sacked because there is too much else to fix. Now, this to me is a very short-sighted and ridiculous statement to make. If, as it is, the manager is not doing a good job, if the team is not making progress, if there is no style to the game, if there is no shape to the formation, if there is no set tactics that are clearly present, if his in-game management is poor, if his substitutions and his ability to adapt is poor, then he is the wrong person for the job. Now, I hear the arguments made that you can't keep sacking managers, but to quote Chris Boyd, yes, you can until you get the right one. You don't keep someone in a job just because you'd sacked his predecessor. If he's shit at his job, you don't go, oh, we can't sack him because we sacked his predecessor, and that makes us look really bad. No, you sack and you sack and you sack until you get the right person for the job. That is how it works in business, and this is how it should work in football. But it appears that Clement is not under threat, that he will be here to at least the end of the season. I would say will be here through next season as well, and I honestly believe that if Clement is still the manager at this time next season, Celtic go on to win yet another treble. Will win back-to-back trebles, because Clement quite clearly is not the man for this job. And people say that changing the manager will just set the project back. No, it won't. Getting a good coach who can coach this team, organise this team, and get this team playing to a style and a shape and a formation, someone like a Muscat, a McInnes, a Gerrard, a Knutson, I believe would actually take this club forward and not set it back. I do not support what Patrick Stewart has said. I think his comments are utterly ridiculous. I think echoing the fact that he comes from a club that was is one of the worst run in England. He's bringing that now to Rangers. So look, it's not financially driven. He's keeping his job no matter what. I think even if we lose the next 2 Old Firm games, he keeps his job. I think even if we finish 30 points behind Celtic, he keeps his job, which to me is an absolutely ridiculous decision and shows how low standards have fallen at this once great football club. Thanks for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation, guys. On the way out, please sub, share, comment and like. Thanks for watching. We are the people.